So many single women believe that they are going to be so much happier when they find a significant other. They have a lot of emotion tied up in finding their soulmate, finding somebody that is going to fulfill their life. And they live day after day in fighting this inner dialogue of, why haven't I found somebody yet? When is Mr. Right going to be for me? Why doesn't anybody like me? Why do my friends have it and I don't have it? And they believe, even if at a subconscious level, that all their happiness is truly going to explode out and happen when they finally find the one. And I want to talk to you today and tell you why this just isn't the case, and why your happiness can explode today if you decide it will. I cannot tell you how many clients I have had on a call that have been or are in marriages or long term relationships, and they are completely miserable and disillusioned. They feel very disillusioned because they'll tell me that they remember that when they first met, how happy they were and how perfect everything was. But now they're in these situations where they don't feel happy anymore. They feel very taken for granted. They feel used and often even emotionally neglected and abused. And they also very often feel trapped. Like, now they've been in it so long and they've invested, they have homes together with these people, sometimes family, and sometimes they don't no longer have their own personal income. They're dependent on their special person financially. And so they feel stuck. And they're stuck in this situation where they just want more than anything to get out and start over again. I always am trying to explain to the clients I have that don't have a relationship and that constantly bring this up as being troubling to them, that a relationship is not going to solve anything. Now, I'm not saying that being in a relationship doesn't have its benefits, or that you can't find a certain amount of fun and excitement with finding somebody special. And especially in the beginning, when you meet somebody new, it's like buying a new car in some ways, in that it's new. And there's this person, and you're mysterious to them, and that's exciting that they want to get to know you, and they're mysterious to you, and you find out things that you both love. You find out things that maybe they do that you've never tried. You try new things with them. You have somebody to go places with, to laugh with, to have fun with, to be intimate with. So there's a lot that's very, very appealing. But that part of the relationship is kind of like looking forward to eating ice cream. It's like it's the good, sweet, yummy part of it, part of a meal, right? But it's actually just the sugar. And there's so much more to a relationship than just these things, these surfacey things that we idealize in our mind. And even when it comes to having children, there's so much more to having children and creating a family than a lot of people think about. They think about, oh, wouldn't it be fun to have kids? And those that want kids think, wouldn't it be fun to have kids? But they, a lot of times when we're just seeking for happiness inside of, oh, if I get married and have a family, that's what I really want. And if I get that, I'll be happy. A lot of times when we're seeking for that, we're not first thinking about the foundations that need to be laid beneath that for any of that to actually work and be in a place where you will enjoy it. Because if you can't enjoy something, if you're in situations where you feel miserable, then it's going to be difficult to be happy. So a lot of times when ones meet somebody that they are very attracted to, it's really easy to overlook the little things, the little subtle things that start coming up that bother them. And it's easy to brush it off and go, oh, it's not, they don't do that very often, or it's no big deal, or I didn't quite get that, but I don't know, maybe they're just in a mood or whatever, and just start brushing those off. But let me tell you a little secret. Those little irritations that start to come out in the beginning of a relationship will be multiplied by 100 7 years into a relationship, sometimes even sooner, sometimes 2 years into the relationship. The newness is going to wear off. You're going to know everything about that person, and there'll still be things that you love and to do together. And I'm not saying you're not going to love them, but these other things are going to stick out like a sore thumb. And you have to realize that when people are courting, they are always putting their very best foot forward. And once you've settled into something, you quit putting that best foot forward for the most part. And I don't care how great of a relationship you're in, if you've been in it long term, we all do that because it becomes routine to us. We stop putting our very best foot forward. We might make efforts throughout our relationship to go, oh, I need to think about this and put a little bit more effort in that. But like it was in the beginning, it'll never be like it was in the beginning again. It's just things change and shift within the dynamics of that relationship. And the one thing that is always going to determine how satisfying your relationship is with anybody is how satisfying your relationship is with you while you're single and while you're on your own. So you see, if you're antsy and wanting to hop in a relationship because, oh, that's what I really want, and you have a hard time really feeling satisfied or fulfilled or happy, and you think it's because you need this or that, whatever it is, it could be money, a relationship, or whatever, but there's a deeper need there. And that deeper need is you to see you and validate you and love you and fall really completely in love with your own self and your own life. When you do that from a genuine place, when you are living day to day, you're actually very interested in you and the things that interest you. And you love to find things that feel like they are exactly to your personal taste. You love to really get to know yourself, and you love to challenge yourself, and you love to understand what your favorites are and be able to spoil yourself and buy things for yourself and honor yourself. When you are in this position, which is a very healthy and natural place to be in, then you'll be magnetizing. And you'll be magnetizing from a place of authenticity. So you are going to be magnetizing in toward you the things that you truly love. You truly love you. You truly want to honor you. You truly want to nurture you. And you're going to start this vortex of magnetizing things toward you that continue to speak to that love that you have for you. And that includes relationships, whether they're the friendships or of the opposite sex, or even current relationships. Current relationships can be more loving and more healthy when you are in that healthy place of self-love. So when I get a client that's been in a marriage for years and years and years, and they call me, and usually they're broken and they're crying, and their spouse is, they in their eyes, mean to them. They can't get through to them. They don't listen to them. They are tired of them. They want to leave, but they don't want to leave. I have a high amount of calls with women who believe their spouse is narcissistic. Some of them actually have had diagnoses, others haven't. And they are miserable. And the only thing that I can really tell them at that point is the same thing that I'm telling you before. You've got to get your eyes off the guy and back onto you. You've got to get to a place where you prioritize yourself, you put yourself first, like you become fascinated with your own life and your own life journey. And that fascination and excitement and love for yourself is not dependent upon what other people do or say, who is in your life or not in your life, or what is in your life and not in your life. It is a fascination and happiness that comes from within, from a place of being really settled in who you are, and in knowing that your purpose here is to enjoy your life and to enjoy your journey and to discover and to learn and to grow. And though from that really core solid foundation, I mean that foundation laid solid. Now, if you've been one of the almost rare ones in our world now today, where you've had really healthy parents that just allowed you to be who you are and wasn't trying to make them into mini yous, or had an agenda of who they wanted you to be, or were did drugs and alcohol and partied, and or were abusive, or were split up and divorced, and all the things that start to take this happy, beautiful, unconditionally love of a bundle and start to injure and hurt and harm its development and its growth. Sometimes never, I don't believe in most cases it's ever done deliberately, but it happens from, they say that hurt people, right? Hurt people hurt people. And that's where it goes on. That's why it's generational, because we continue to hurt and not realizing what is actually happening and how we're hurting, because we haven't even acknowledged ourselves. And how can we acknowledge what we're doing to others when we haven't even acknowledged how we're hurt and how we truly feel? We've numbed it out and shut it down. There is nothing wrong with really desiring to have a relationship and wanting to get married and have kids. I'm not trying to insinuate that. But what I am trying to get across is that when you tie up your happiness and your self fulfillment in the idea of having a relationship with somebody else, you are setting yourself up for disappointment. And this is why. Because if you are unhappy with where you are and who you are now, and you don't feel settled inside yourself, and you don't feel like you can truly enjoy and be fulfilled in life unless you have somebody else, you're lacking something. You're lacking something. And that something that you're lacking is genuine self love, the genuine love of yourself and acceptance of yourself that sparks all kinds of initiation and excitement about life and being in love with life, and about getting out there and doing things and experiencing things. And in the process of all that, that hopefully, if that is your ambition to eventually get married and have children, that will happen. Furthermore, when we are looking for a partner from a place of just feeling like we can't feel fulfilled unless we find that partner, we are setting ourselves up to end up in a relationship where, for a little while, we're going to be so excited because we finally found the guy, but we're going to end up very disappointed and let down, and a lot of times even traumatized by the relationship, because we're going to draw in from that space, we're going to magnetize a very needy person. Generally speaking, when people are trying to get their needs met from each other, they sometimes can meet them, and they will meet them, especially in the courting stages and in the early stages of relationships. They gladly meet the need of the other person, but it's because they want their need met, and we want to reciprocate it. And I hear this all the time, talking to your significant other about, your needs and your needs not being met. And I've seen how that doesn't work, basically. How for a while, maybe the other one, if they're sensitive to it at all and don't get just offensive and starts a big fight. But even if they are sensitive, it doesn't last, because we have to ultimately be able to meet our own needs. Nobody out there can fulfill our needs. If we have a need, we've got to learn to be able to meet that need ourselves. And when we start to realize that we can, not only do we need to, but that we very well can meet those needs, and often meet them in so much of a perfect way than somebody else is able, and we begin to give ourselves permission to meet the needs, the emotional, the physical, the mental needs, all the needs that we have, the spiritual needs, we become an empowered person. And then our palate becomes very different for what we accept in our life and don't accept in our life. And because we are honoring ourselves, we are actually becoming the sovereign over our lives. And we become a little bit more particular about who we're going to let in and how we are going to be treated. Think about all the reasons why you want a relationship, to really be honest about it, and write it down, like brain dump it. Like, oh, I want a relationship because I think it would be fun to have someone to go do things with. And I think it would be so fun to have somebody to have sex with. And it would be fun to have somebody to split the bills with and to have a partner. And I want to have children and all these things. Okay. And then look through all the ones that you said and think, how many of those needs do I meet? Can I meet for myself? And do I meet for myself? And how many should I start meeting for myself, right? Can I empower myself in? And then, go secondary. Like if you say, oh, I want to get married and have children, then ask why. Why do you want to get married and have children? Why is that so important to you? And just go deep. And then when you find that, ask why again. Just start asking the whys until you get really to where it's like it becomes, some things start really standing out about what's really going on with you emotionally around this neediness. And then start asking yourself, do I truly want this? Do I truly, in light of what I've learned, do I truly want this? Or is there something else I'm actually looking for? Is it this relationship that I'm looking for? Or is it acceptance among all my friends, or to feel like I'm measured up to them? Like, is it because not having anybody, I feel like people look at me like, you don't have anybody yet? How old are you? Or I wonder why she doesn't, have somebody by her side. Is it more reflection of how people are looking at you, and that being a scary thing to you? And if that's the case, and it has nothing to do with self-love, which self-love will help you with that, I suggest you hop in and over to my site and hop into my course, the tier 2, in where we battle the mental phantoms that come at us. We actually identify them and we start burning them, like deleting them from our mental computer, because there are phantom voices that we create when we are in survival mode at different times in our lives, and they stick with us and they feel like they're our own voice and our own reasoning, but they're phantom voices that we are animating. And when we go through and start deleting them and recognizing them, then life becomes a lot more clearer about what we truly want and what we don't truly want in life. And we become more authentic and more magnetic, and we start loving our life path. The more magnetic and authentic you become, it's not for other people, it's for you. That authenticity is, and that love affair with yourself is with your divine inside and who you are at your core. Like, you hunger for that person so deeply. You're hungering for her, and to know her and to be close to her and to have that divine self within you, the spirit within you, be able to be free, to just shine out through this vessel, this avatar that you are currently embodying. And the more you take away the things that are attached to you, that are energetic thought forms and emotional baggage that you've carried throughout your life, and you start to recognize it and you start to shed it, the more your authentic self starts to come out, and the more you are awed by that, and the more you do fall in love with your life and with who you are, and you remember who you are, and life becomes more of an adventure. And now you can even be more authentic about, if I do get in a relationship, what are my boundaries around that? What do I, what are my things that I require, not just expect, but require in a relationship? Now going to become more clear about the type of person you would want to be. So then when it actually comes to dating and meeting people, it's not all about this ooey gooey, oh, I just fell so in love with you. Because that right there, that whole feeling of, oh, that people get, and that's, I just knew they were the one as soon as I saw them. That whole thing has nothing to do with love. It can't. It can't. It's attraction. And attraction is based on your energy. So if your energy is low vibe, and your energy is insecurity, and your energy is, I'm unsure of myself, and your energy is, I don't really know what I want in life, and your energy is, I don't really stand up for myself because I don't want to offend anybody, right? All those type of things are your energy, and your energy is, I'm just sweet, and I just make sure everybody knows I'm a sweet person, and that's all that matters. So everybody knows how sweet I am, right? Oh, I don't want to rock the waves. That, then when you get this, that's the kind of person you're attracting, that's going to be attracted to you, is going to be those kind of people that is attracted to somebody insecure, somebody that doesn't have boundaries, somebody that's just going to accept them no matter what they do and be kind to them. And then as soon as you get in that relationship and you start going, wait a minute, you're being a jerk. Why do you expect me to be kind? They're going to flip out on you because they're just used to you just tolerating everything, right? So there's so many things in yourself that is so important that you nurture and love and get to a place of strength before you dive in to a relationship. I told you at the beginning of this video, I was going to tell you why you can decide that you're going to be happy. And this is it right here. Because happiness is a choice. Happiness is not just a feeling. We can put all kinds of feelings under the heading of happiness: excitement, joy, elation, euphoria, smiling. There's so many things that we can put under the heading of happiness. But happiness is a choice, and it's daily waking up and saying, no matter in spite of how you feel when you wake up, saying to yourself, today I choose to be happy. Wait a minute. Today I choose to be grateful. Today I choose to see the good in others. Today I choose to see the gifts of the day. Today I choose to smile. Today I choose to be kind. Today I choose to be happy. So happiness is a choice. Not saying that when we choose happiness, that grief doesn't enter into the picture sometimes. Somebody dies, something happens, our heart is broken, and grief comes in. I'm not talking about that, okay? I'm talking about the choice between, I'm just going to sit around and just be like, oh, I don't have anything. My life will never be like my friends. Look what they have. They always get all of it. Oh, they're going on another vacation. I never get to go on vacation. Oh my gosh, look at I can't believe they got that big toy with their kids, like their kids don't have enough, right? That's a choice to be like that. It's a choice to have that kind of attitude, right? Happiness is a choice. It's a choice to say, I choose to be happy. I choose to smile. I choose to name my blessings, to count my blessings one by one. I choose to say, hey, if the tables were turned, I wouldn't want them turned. I would rather you have the nice vacations and me have to wait than me having it to like rub in your face, like, look at me at what I got. I would rather not even go there. I'd rather just know that all good things come to all of us and that there's always people that have less than me and there's always going to be people that have more than me, and that things are not what brings us happiness. Yeah, they make us feel good at times. Yeah, they make us laugh. Yeah, they make us excited sometimes to be alive because, we get to go somewhere new or whatever. But that happiness, day by day happiness, is a choice. I've known many, many people in my lifetime who, no matter what they got, were not happy. Maybe for a moment or two, they would show some amount of happiness, but overall, they were miserable people and they refused to be happy. And there was always just that hot dog on the stick, just a little further out, that they were constantly chasing, saying, if only, if I could just get that, if I could just get that hot dog, then I'll be happy. If I could just get that home, then the home, they got the home. And if I could just get the car, if I could just have the man, if I could just have the baby, if I could just get the money, if I could just get the job, then I'll be happy. Look around what you have today and ask yourself how many things that you currently have that you wished for 5, 10, maybe even 15 years ago, but now you have it. You realize that you have so much that at one time you thought, if I just had that, I'd be so happy. And you have it now, right? So be happy. Be happy. Okay? Have a great day.